unable to close in 2 maps. Complexity now no longer the unicorn betting favorites. Imperial have taken back their rightful throne because that one was a bit of a thrashing. That second half just had no legs on it for Complexity. So unfortunately, you know, maybe because of economic problems, it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, we had a couple of tries on the rifle rounds, but we had a pistol round 1 from Imperial, 2 conversions where they lost 1 player, into 2 clutch rounds that Fang was last alive, into I think 4 rounds where they had full pistols in that second half. That was brutal. I mean, I'm sure they at least feel better knowing that they didn't have that many chances to play, but overall, when they did, Imperial gave them no room to breathe whatsoever. So here on Overpass, of course, it's such a fantastic map for, honestly, it's a good map for both teams, even though Complexity have had more tragic losses over it. There's still been close maps overall, the NaVi game, Imperial games in the past, and it's just meant to be that we get a third map here versus these 2 teams that ends on Overpass, and it feels like it's definitely Fallen's day to take this and really show that, you know, you can't just get away with having a significant ping advantage or disadvantage and then just winning the series in a matchup that's usually narrow and super close. JT as well, he never got started on that second map, really didn't do anything in the second half of the first map, had all of his success in the first half of the first map. They need more than random people coming through with above average performances. They need Grim to play at full strength, maybe Fang to bring in his ancient level, Hauser to get at least like 15 kills, have a better map than he did on Inferno, and for all those things to at least go right, for it, I feel like for it to be relatively close. Otherwise, it's going to be tough, and the op is going to be such an important factor on Overpass.
That's the one. You know, I think that on an individual level, we talk about how Fallen kind of keeps up with the younger guys. This is a map specifically where everybody has come to expect wonderful things from Fallen, and I think that could be part of this equation. Yeah, we want to talk about how close this match usually is. Overpass specifically is always so close that the last 2 times they've played it, the score was 25-23 and 20-22.
Wow.
So if you, like everybody else, don't want this series to end just yet, if you haven't had enough of Imperial versus Complexity, then buckle up, because this one's got overtimes, plural, written all over it.
It does, yeah. Thanks. And well, I hope there's not going to be overtimes, but if there are, there's probably going to be a lot. The history of this will definitely tell you that's the case. Now, unfortunately for Complexity, some of their worst losses or close losses have ended on this map. And Imperial, the other story. You know, they took out Cloud9 on this map back at Antwerp, had a fantastic, unbelievable victory. Fallen has hit some of his greatest shots on Overpass throughout history, whether it's the most crazy collabs, off-screen flicks, massive clutches, had a 1v5 back in the day. So I'm expecting a Fallen masterclass, especially considering his overall form in recent days. It's been very impressive. I mean, in terms of longevity, talking about a player like Crims on Fnatic, even though they got eliminated, definitely wasn't because of Crims. And him and Fallen are 2 of the players who have been playing the longest at this point at a high level, you know, and in contention to qualify for a major is where I'd kind of put the threshold for if we're going to talk about them in the tier 1 level or so. And it's really impressive to have someone like Fallen keep up the meta, lead people from his region, and that's just keeping up to his namesake of somebody who's always been a teacher as much as an IGL for his own roster for the entirety of Brazil, like just straight up and down. Been such a role model. We actually had Taz retiring today officially.
Damn.
As another sort of role model from his scene. But you know, if you want to compare the 2, the amount of impact Fallen has had on so many other rosters, I feel like Taz was trying to bring some of that into leading in Honoris.
Yes.
Not achieving the results that he would have liked to, but long and illustrious career regardless. So massive trophy cabinets for all these guys.
Kind of made that Cato 2014 that much more special.
That was
a turning point.
That was an amazing major. I mean, the fact, you know, I always want to see the home team win at their major. For him to pick up Cato, that was huge.
Yeah, like watching outsiders win Rio.
Yeah, that's what I was cheering for. No, but even Furia winning versus NaVi in the quarter, that was special. When zywoo won Paris, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I was there for that.
Yeah. The last CSGO major too? Crazy.
Yeah. When you talk about deserving, by the way, like, people are always like, oh, zywoo, it'd be a shame if he didn't win the major, or like, but I in my eyes, he still feels new. I think the tough part for zywoo is that, like, there was no major in 2020. one major in 2022, 21, and one major in 2022 so far. So he's had very few chances for a player of his caliber, probably the least of anybody who has been in his range, in the top 10 players on HLTV or something, even though he's only played professionally for 4 years now.
And that's the thing. He's only played for those 4 years. I think if there's anybody that we can have a conversation about who deserves a CSGO major,
It's Niko, baby.
that exactly there. That would be the actual shame to see him walk away and not have his. It would, in my mind, it's like that would be the most recent tragedy since Guardian not getting one in CSGO either.
Right, yeah, that's very true.
A player who definitely, you know, dominated for X amount of time and could have, but didn't.
And we talk about
Because
Fallen.
Cloud9.
Because Cloud9. And we talk about Fallen. He's got 2. Crims has 3. 3, yeah. 3? Yeah. 3? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
they're feeling good about that. Is it 2 or 3?
I'm not sure.
Ugh. We did the HLTV quiz.
Back, we did.
We had to name every major in a row, which I don't really have an excuse. I've watched them all. I I'm getting old, okay?
It happens, man.
Old, yeah.
The memory
But if
starts to
Fallen
go.
can keep it up for this long, I've got no excuse. I can at least name the majors that he's played at.
Keeps it going and keeps it fresh.
Yeah. Multiple rosters in his career, different organizations, Luminosity, SK, Imperial now. Played some very strange teams. Stewie and Tarek.
That's true. MIBR Stewie.
Yeah.
Remember those days?
Might be back. Maybe Stewie comes back
Maybe.
to Imperial.
Anything can change in 6 months, so they say.
That's true.
Anything
But
at
you know
all.
what doesn't change? Overpass. This map hasn't got
It will soon. Complexity and Imperial to close out the second best of 3 tonight. And then our third best of 3 starts tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
We got a defuse kit and a smoke grenade on JT. We got a little util here for Fallen. And hey, put your silencer on. What
Damn.
the hell? You're not simple.
He's not simple.
You're not Moneshi. But they are just going to go for the walk contact outside B. What's the protocol here once you see that this is open? Where are you going now,
You
bud?
start panicking and screaming in the mic that there's no one here. And it's tough when they hear the running rotations as well if they're just walking over top of the bathrooms. And they'll get in a position, but I mean, this gives Imperial an edge. They've cleared out bathrooms, really important spots to play if you're going to stop an A attack. So we'll see if Complexity try to overstack A or, you know, take over stairs quickly. Oh, boy.
He's going to hang on to that smoke for now. Picks up an early kill. Ooh, but Bolts and Cello bring it back, and Grim. Labored effort to get Bolts down.
A very slow flank here from Fang.
Put your silencer on.
Might actually be useful in this position.
You're literally on a flank from long with an unsilenced USP.
This would be funny. I mean, if he shoots, it makes a lot of noise, and he gets the instant turnaround.
Well,
okay.
turns out the gun still works. Bullets are bullets. 2 versus 2. Off of Fang's flank. Vinny.
Youch.
Run right through him.
Alzerk let him go.
Oh, insta-gush as well. Vinny's going to get his impact. 3 kills in the pistol, and that's a name we haven't had to say too much tonight.
Yeah, for the Complexity story was like JT and like some of the other players, but Vinny also hasn't really turned up yet. For Imperial, this was a necessary last map with that Jota carry. I don't know if he got 30 at the end of it, but that's 3 pistols back-to-back for Imperial. I remember how Inferno went in terms of pistols.
They split them 1 each.
Split them 1 each. Yeah.
Yes, sir. T-side 1 both.
Doing quite well overall in this series. Buy up from both sides. One looks better.
But it is, again, lickety split into the short water. Door popped. Grim's going to use that as a chance to walk away. No need to stick around. Fang on a scout. Sign me up. Tags Jota. Nice first contact to Complexity's favor up towards this A site. And it's definitely not Fang alone. We're leaning into the 4-player A stack now from Complexity.
In my mind, I see the odds tilt a little bit when you get a scout shot on a round like this, even if you don't get the kill down. I think it really affects how you play when the T's are searching for info. I think there's a much higher likelihood that the round clock ends up running out, or you make a move way too late once you get these scout tags in, especially if they're too scared. So at least they got some damage on Grim, but they're looking for map progress right now, and they're at 40 seconds, so...
We know how dangerous of a game it is.
There's another tag, and I'm going to say it. I think Complexity are just going to win this round now.
Running that clock down and then just trying to quickly ambush into the A site when pistols are all in these pockets. Man, I've watched hundreds of these rounds fall short for a T side. 2 scout tags, as you said. 15 on the clock at this point. Fang will get blasted by bolts. And now it comes down to the CZ and the MP9 of Grim inside the corner. Him and JT lay it down. Back behind the truck. No chance at the plant. Floppy just has to survive, and they have done it. Complexity, a speed bump too big for the Imperial suspension.
Yeah, and I swear you could forecast that just because of the damage. Like, Fang doesn't even get a kill there, but it scares you. It scares you when you know you've got a MAC-10 or a Galil in hand, and you cannot swing on corners as confidently as you could before. Your death is just imminent because pistols are one-shot kills now, so well done from Fang for those 2. Imperial with just no time. So there's a momentum swept back. And I think we had a denial of anti-eco so far in the series as well. So pistol not worth absolutely everything.
Yo, how good does CS2 frag grenades look? The explosions? The frag grenades?
Yeah, insane. The mollies, dude.
Oh, dude, the purple fire, bro. What the?
That just sprung to mind. Uh-oh, but Fang's down.
Yeah, fast flank, though.
That's very fast.
Very quick. And catches 2 with grenades out, trying to support the entry of Cello. Because that flank is so fantastic from Halzerk, it then leads Cello to try and push in alone. Bolts will find an open route towards B. Decides to double it back around Monster. Pauses. Yeah, waits. Options open.
Floppy hears it all. So yeah, one mid round is, you go for Monster in case they're playing right side Monster. You take that fight early. If not, you have some nice fights with your back against a wall. But okay, there's a small chance. Floppy exposes their game plan. But now 2 CTs have calcified into good positions.
And Floppy gets the Bolts kill before Grim is even needed. Poor Joda gave away his gun, hoping Bolts would crack this open. P250 versus 3, 14 health. He's fried. Right? Yeah. Floppy's able to react. Pistol simply not enough. Complexity 2-1 lead.
Yes, that's actually looking pretty good for them. Nice round from Grim. And if there is a map that Grim's going to pop off on, sometimes it's Inferno, but usually it's Overpass.
How's his series been? Mediocre.
Mid, very mid.
Yeah, 17 and 16 on the Inferno map win. 15 and 24 on Ancient.
Yeah, and there was a lot of confidence in the interview. Who's feeling very good about his recent performances and stuff, and the team overall. Didn't really talk about Halzerk too much. But you can feel good, sometimes doesn't go your way. That's just Counter-Strike.
Man, that flank from Halzerk last round.
Nasty.
MP9. With an MP9, I expect like that second player to jump back into bathrooms and things to get a little crazy. Yeah. But the bullets found him, followed him.
There he is, frisky Halzerk. Clearing out blue.
As expected. Comes up from connector, JT. Yeah, he's gonna get some kills on the board. Welcome back, JT. Incredibly flat halves since the first on Inferno.
It went 1 in 14 on Ancient to kick things off, so struggled there. But I really don't think it's something that would tilt him in particular. He's really good at setting everybody up. And I think he has shown so far. So Sir over at RGL. Ooh, thinking about the wins first and foremost. But yeah, he's got some aim.
If JT was tilted by getting bullied like that, he would have had to retire years ago.
True.
You know, this has been a part of JT's reality.
Yeah, he's got the makings of someone with good mechanics, but the stats are always going to be inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing you got teammates like Floppy.
That is true. Fire on the feet.
Uh-oh.
Flash in the face. AK from Cello. Drops Floppy. Clean second headshot onto JT. Back to reality. Halzerk's MP9 has been a constant nuisance for Imperial, coming at them from all sorts of angles. He gets an AK upgrade, but Imperial wastes no time with that pop out from Monster. 2 players all it took, really.
Yeah.
Catching Floppy with his face turned, and then the insta-kill towards Graffiti.
I think it was Floppy. The timing was Floppy throwing that molly, knowing they'd come out, but then at the same time as he threw that molly, a flash met him over top of Monster. And a great second entry from Cello. Check out this slide. And just flash assist across the board.
Chopping up that defense like maple logs.
Like maple logs.
Yeah.
Tapped for all their syrup.
True. It is sugar season right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Get out
sugar
there.
season.
Every Canadian growing up, including Fang, has gone on a field trip to tap the maple trees.
Yes, sir. Sugar shacks.
And got to go home with a bottle of fresh maple syrup.
Uh-huh.
And drank it all on the school bus and got a stomach ache.
And got to eat sugar on snow while they were there.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
If you've never rolled syrup on a popsicle stick,
You haven't lived.
not living like Halzerk, living large with the opening op shot. Love that. I feel like that was his entire mantra on Inferno. Opening op picks, run boost me, normal boost me, let me take B site when I please. And that op was a dominant force in the reason that Complexity won. Well, it was completely muted on Ancient. And at least this round, once he's able to afford it, features it. But that 5v4 taken back pretty quick.
Yeah. Grim got a little awkward there. You know, splashing in the puddle allowed Vinny to feel comfortable swinging from the staircase. Definitely some of Imperial's most impressive rounds is getting in between utility on their attacks. They seem to be able to catch them off guard. It was like all over Ancient in that second half. As soon as Complexity would take a step forward into their just regular aggression to retake map control, Imperial were ready for a full attack. But there's JT on the hunt.
Damn.
Showing they're still comfortable trying it.
And as much as I want to paint Halzerk as like the key piece to Inferno, JT was doing the same thing on that first map, right? Peeking down Banana, having Floppy or Grim behind him, setting him up. Great shot up into Connector. Floppy, though, flashed yet again. And JT falls right after this 2-man monster hit, serving up problems. Halzerk flies out from heaven. Molly on his feet. Oh, but he snaps onto Fallen to stop that bomb. Won't survive in smoke, however. Cello guns him down.
Wicked shot. Nice try, Halzerk. Damn, the second flash. Those flashes have been beautiful. I mean, the first one was like enough for the first guy, but a second one coming out, they couldn't expect that. It gave Fallen enough time to, like, you know, not have this fray in order, but still get the kill comfortably. That's one of the big values of attacks on B-side Overpass with good flashes, because that skybox is completely open.
Like all the maps on Source 2.
Yeah. Two MP9s. Deagle here for JT. Tie game.
This monster tunnel has been the burden of Complexity's behold. Imperial, why not? Run it back. Usually it's been Fallen and Cello, but Bolts takes a little peek around that corner. Gotta be cautious about those flashes, right? Floppy's felt the wrath of them.
They throw their own flash just to see if anyone shoots back, and that gives them confirmation so they don't waste a smoke. Jump Spot sees nothing, but of course they know T's are out there. So Halzerk will persist. Congregation of T's now up through the short side, but a lot of CTs here on the other side of things.
All right.
Not great guns, but enough numbers.
Ozark boosting. This could get weird if all of a sudden the short hit comes
they're
through.
way ahead of this, so...
They disassemble, but JT falls right down into Joda, prepared for that. Halzerk, M4 point blank. They're trying to hold off on Monster. Can they finally hang on? Halzerk able to stop the short push. Beautiful wallbang from Cello. And he turns it up a notch. Fallen point blank. Fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic.
I can't believe that. Any one more kill, and then, of course, it's pretty much over there for Imperial. But Cello has just done so much as a B opener. 9 kills for him. A new name to talk about in this series. That'll secure 4 for Imperial. That's the money gone once again for Complexity. JT makes the most kind of clear mistake of the round, and I think it's because Grim sees nothing in an open doorway. But the thing is, they had confirmation they were outside of Monster. There was a high likelihood they could have been approaching this way. And JT could have fallen back pit and rotated in via pit side and just checked on short to see if anyone's there, but they didn't have a molly down, they didn't have a smoke down. So that's sort of an unforced error.
Looked like the best B defense yet.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't enough to hold back Cello.
Yeah. Yeah, some people pretend that, you know, Woodwall is solid, but it's really just the chain link fence and those plywood basically leaning on it. So Cello just goes for the really deep wall bang, and it's perfectly placed.
Yeah, that's no sturdy oak.
That's no maple.
First time out here for Complexity. Gotta find a solution to the B play, and it almost looks like they had it.
Yeah,
they really did for at least the first half of that hit.
Yeah, definitely. That one's just really annoying to lose. You know, you got to save again, and then try again. Now you're thinking about inching a little bit. Yeah, Fang up on the rifle.
Only player to save last round.
The mercenary.
But you're dead on, right? A new hero emerges with Cello in that last round. Another individual level that is going to serve up issues for Complexity. Vinny farms the guys inside connector, including that singular M4A1S. Oh, Floppy's got that Deeg, though. He's got it. He's got that Deeg. Nade's flying at him. Team flash from Fallen. Almost kills Bolts. But instead, Imperial convert.
And I'll see if the bot comes back in here for Complexity for another chance.
Vinny plays with a T crosshair. Give me your thoughts on that.
He tries different things all the time. The only 3 people I know that use that are you, James Bardolph, and Vinny.
I'm no longer a T guy.
Oh, yeah?
No, sir.
I couldn't aim. I just can't aim with that at all.
Have you tried that CS2 feature where the crosshair follows the spray pattern?
Horrible. I mean, my spray on a wall is like really good, and then when I turned that on, it was terrible.
Yeah,
So
it's horrifying. JT opens up. Oh, the spam's on him too. But then,
wow, the flash as well.
Again, go back 2 rounds. Opening success for Complexity.
There has been a flash assist with every single kill, it feels like.
Oh, the wall bang outside Monster.
Great pressure. Great pressure.
Beautiful. The util gets him scampering back into the bomb site. Cello's not going to let you run. You can run, but you can't hide. Looking for the peak here. Floppy on the op. Not every day we see the flop. Battle of patience between him and Fallen. Hit it, but didn't kill it. A warning to Imperial that the op presence is in play.
They run a little bit, and I think they ran with the audible being able to be called from stairs still, so it looks like Imperial just going to stay patient and hit this site. It looked like by the way Fallen was throwing grenades that it was some sort of really simple and cheap fake. So maybe he thought that there were more T's out towards bathrooms. But in this case, Complexity, you're going to find out that's not it. So another great round. I mean, just like looking at the pressure they put on short, they didn't even have visual confirmation on the first 2 kills. They threw a flash out of the door, the nade came through, they were ready to fight both angles in the door, and then Cello was outside Monster with the intention to spam the fallback or spam the re-aggression. We know JT loves to go for double short pushes. They say that's not on the menu tonight. Now it's getting a little hairier here for Complexity.
T-side starting to get away from him. I mean, silver lining, 3 saves better than 1. But the round count. You know, Overpass has been the most CT-sided map in the map pool at the moment. In the last few events, at least. Imperial making it look otherwise. Wow. Damn, almost got both.
Yeah, it's really hard to get by those bullets, actually. There's no, like, angle to get away from them unless you're just getting lucky. So Imperial with a 5 straight. 2 rebuys in for Complexity. Will it be a new lease on life? Or just a simple repeat of history?
Vinny again. And he's powering up inside of Connector. 9 and 4. We said like Cello was the new champion, and while his impact is definitely being felt on the B site, he was a part of that success on Ancients.
So many parallels between these two in that sense, like not all of them ever turning up at the same time, but in pairs.
Right. Yes.
And then all having pop-off potential as well.
And it comes down to like which of them on which day, on which map.
We have 5 overtimes.
Yeah.
Oh, Cello missed it. Oh, actually, sorry.
It looked like they were going through, right? They phase the smoke. Works out here for Complexity, trying to put out the flames of Imperial. 4v4. Bolts has them locked in 2 monster sides. Smoke will deny him that. Joda gets the vision on the guy Connector.
Oh.
Doesn't get the kill, though. And no turnaround from Grim. Didn't even respond. Not like Halzerk will. Catching the jump over. But of course, confirming that the op's up in heaven just means Bomb starts to sprint towards A. Halzerk will hear that with a lurker down here towards B, who takes his head clean off. Another moment where we see Complexity's hopes on full display. We see a little fight out of them, a little bite alongside their bark, only for Imperial to whack him upside the head yet again.
They've had pretty good, thorough defaults that are covering a lot of options. They've got good aim across the board right now for Imperial, all warming up at the right time. All sounds point to a positive outcome for the Professor and co. Buy comes in once again for Complexity. A very heavy A-lean. This is the outsider setup, I think. With Halzerk just playing far back, ready for them to go through balloons, and JT's got everything covered here. Now this relies on a really slow default. Anything fast towards B, of course, is death, but we are getting that default coming through.
Perfectly timed setup from Complexity.
The only difference is actually Halzerk should be watching balloons, I think, but he's holding deep into mid. I don't even know how he dies.
That's a miscommunication or a misunderstanding as to who's got what. Recoverable. If Grim can come up with another one, has to be cautious as the presence is very much known, but like you said, it's that B play that it means death for Complexity. And Imperial had bolts, feeling it out. Floppy falls off heaven, still recovers with a headshot. Cello will find Grim, looking to go join that bomb on Fallen. Dropped gun. Still, he's alive and kicking.
Oh, Fallen just comes forward in this.
Floppy needs assistance. He tries to turn it back, and Fallen serving up the distraction, but Floppy's locking this in. Down to 35 health. Cello to the 1v2. Kills the close. What? Burns. Turns it on Complexity to 10.
Damn. Dude, from that spot on short. He's going to have that sandbag named after him. Another 2K from Cello. And he was so cool about that. That flicker round was so fast. That's brutal. Floppy actually played it pretty damn well. Another huge victory, another economy-crushing win here for Imperial. Just seeing pistols way too much this series for complexity.
I did bring up the CT-sidedness of this map, but in this specific head-to-head, it's been 8 rounds for both teams T-side, 9 rounds for both teams T-side, and Imperial looking to just extend that T-sidedness, consistently getting complexity's number on the defense. Grim's got the AK. Complexity looking to use this 5v4. They need to put up something in the waning moments of this CT side.
Protocol-wise, option coverage-wise, like, Imperial's defaults just look incredibly solid. But at least there's a 5v4. We saw what happened when we got a couple of scout tags in from Fang on a previous anti-eco. Halzerk's going to catch an audible here from top bathrooms. They're not exactly thinking about him, even though they're aware of him. Jota's going to make his way downstairs. But of course, they're not getting the rotations they're looking for. So, Grim. Here he is, foaming at the mouth. Hard angle on short.
Halzerk would have communicated everything here. If only this is one of those rounds where they've got guns. Shadow advantage here for Grim. First one's clean. Loses his first teammate. Still more of them to work off of. They go for the wide swing to set up Grim. And he uses that chance wonderfully. Still trying to hold it off. Tons of damage done. Enough for Halzerk to come through with this clutch. No kit, but close. Though smoke could be his problem. And the Deagle just gets away from him. Fallen having that instinct to turn around and deny complexity a round with just one AK.
The amount of rounds that complexity are just like a hair away from winning. I have to take my shoes off to count them. But yeah, what's even more impressive is just like how they're keeping everything open as a possibility, not just double focusing on one target, trusting each other to get kills so they can take fights consistently, scaling at the same time, like they are on the same page. 5 fingers on one hand here are Imperial. Oh, and this is a big option found actually for a lurk that can come through. They can organize with a B attack, and they actually are not scared of an op whatsoever. Oh, this is massive for Cello to actually fork into the A site if they want to come back to bathrooms, but he can also lurk if they want to go B. And that's a free B as well.
All the way through. Halzerk just completely caught off guard by that one.
That's something you do once or twice a half, because in case the op is not taking a deep option, or I'm not sure if they didn't have that smoke molly interaction on mid.
Fang though, hold up.
Oh, what? Presente. Tough.
Owned. Honestly, owned.
Yeah.
Just owned. Floppy will try to bring it back, but Imperial will be taking a 10th round off this one. The best T-side yet of the 3 times these teams have played Overpass. Cello playing like a god. He'll finish this one off. Imperial continue to keep themselves on fire.
A great call after, not trying anything like that up until this point and just running the entire way over towards the A site. The only thing that could have stopped them there if they started top bathrooms, or if Halzerk took the deep peek, or if they had that 4A setup, right, of course, where Halzerk is supposed to be watching into balloons. But none of those things took place. They've already seen those in the past. Decided to take the risk. The frustration set in for complexity for sure. What a streak. Pistols again.
I feel like we haven't gotten more timeouts out of complexity, though, as they've been getting smoked in this first half.
I've had a lot of ecos to talk, so.
Okay, true. Yeah. Cello at the front of it. I mean, they can just do no wrong. So sharp coming into this third game.
They just look like they got some kind of aim upgrade buff as soon as they hit Overpass.
What are you saying, Launders? That they feel the run to Washington? They've got Furia, the winner of Furia and EG Black, if they win this one.
So presumptuous.
But it would be quite impressive for them to topple them here.
That's still up next tonight. And we all want to see how EG Black are going to fare. It's an interesting decision to have them play in place of the main roster, of course. And a fun one at that. So the double off adjustment on the final round of the first half on the third map, which was always going to become real. Can't help but feel like this one's just for dignity.
And not much of it at that.
Yeah.
But JT 5v4, a fourth round, in the grand scheme of things, could maybe end up making a massive difference. Because Counter-Strike is the eternal tale of two halves. These teams know each other very well. On this map specifically, Complexity's T-sides are always their better half when these two teams meet. You know, there are lifelines for you to be grabbing onto if you are spectating this at the moment.
For like a sad North American right now, and you want to know why Complexity may win.
If you're leaning over your keyboard with a tear in the corner of your eye, thinking you wanted to go to Washington to watch Floppy play on LAN, well, you gotta keep believing. Just like Joda and Fallen in this 2 versus 5. Because a 2v5 to close this T-side would really be a massive nail in the proverbial coffin. Fallen is taking that bomb and he is running back to B, where everybody else has left. They got one player down here. JT, you need to stop this. And Fallen will die. 4 survive here for Complexity. It's a desperate attempt to bring back map 3. But desperation isn't death.
Bom, tem flash daqui a pouco?
Não.
Eu tenho. Baga, só vou pedir.
Ah, esquerda com de lá.
Baga. Baguei.
Tá bom. Tô com você, Tom. Tem mais um.
Tá.
Areia. Molei areia.
Não sobe. Subiu outra vez. Pega a bola.
Boa.
Quebrou eles, né?
Damn, they're even counting bullets.
Yeah, Boa indeed. Very nice half out of the Imperial squad. 11. That's right, 11 terrorist round wins. If it wasn't for that round 2 forced by upset and the 2 rounds that came with it, we could have very well just seen a 14-1. The 16-1 series, that happened over on Inferno last time these teams met, but now it's Overpass that ends up being the biggest blowout so far. This game is not over. Collect your energy. The collective prey for Complexity's hopes. Shredded by Berettas.
Wow, good night.
See ya, not in Washington.
Then where, Connor?
I don't know, the RMR next week.
Only problems, no solutions. Oh my goodness gracious.
Wow.
Talk about setting the mood.
And not in a romantic way.
No candles.
Complexity sleeping on the couch
Yeah.
with the dogs. Force Spy, trying to make the best of a unarguably bad situation. And bolts with an ambitious MP9 peak. Does some damage there versus Floppy. Halzer takes the FAMAS shots, so now both these guys outside of Monster low. And the A1S tapping away at their heels. Vinny will finally finish off Halzerk. And Floppy right there with him.
Oh, Cello, just complete the farm. I mean, we talked about you all throughout that first half, and now 3 players at low HP, no confidence left over, ready to be mauled. Grim takes one down. Cello going to clear out long in a second, maybe join back into this fight. We'll see. Here they are in the fishbowl, surrounded by hungry Brazilians. Jota tucked in, dodges the flash.
Grim's going.
Yeah, eats the bullet.
Long peek, however, shut down by Cello. So he's made his presence known again, having wrapped back around bathrooms. Grim locked into the left side of Dumpster. Vinny will eventually come back up here or wait long enough. Oh, JT's Deeg. We've been waiting.
Waiting for that too.
And it's an upgrade into the FAMAS. It's a lifeline for Complexity's T side. If yet again, after losing pistol, they can successfully force right back. And sure enough, success in this one. It is only Cello left. Bomb beyond the halfway point, and he concedes it. Complexity in back-to-back halves. Lose pistol only to force right back.
Don't worry, folks. We've got the moment. Sometimes in a match like this that's so lopsided, there's like nothing to look forward to. But we have the round where Connor said, see ya, not in Washington, that we can save for the end of this match if everything goes wrong. It's something to look for. It's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Of course, I don't know if we've got any leprechauns that can help us find it. It's going to be tough. But it's there waiting for us if we get there, so. And maybe they could play it at Washington. That would be hilarious, too.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Jota. Wow. Man's running around the world real quick.
Dunkirk.
Ooh. Continuation spray for a ton of damage versus JT. 4v4 regardless. Cello the only other weapon here for Imperial, but Fallen, I love when he makes these moments happen.
Right.
When he's not afraid to follow up on a push. But will it cost him? JT catches Vinny and Fallen's head. Cracking heads all over this map as he retreats back to his T-spawn. Bolts at bat. Gun goes empty, unfortunately for him, and this is looking clean from Complexity to start their T-side even after losing pistol.
Yeah, sabotaged right there with that weapon on low ammo. Cello again, pristine scoreline here, 22-9, but not a real way to get back into this round. So might be a clean 6th. So when it comes to Complexity, they've shown a lot of good T-sides, a lot of comfort on T-side in general. But it's not like such amazing T sides that like they regularly win games like this, for example. Like where you're saying, I think their best T half was 9 rounds, so it's between 7 and 9 or something like that. I think not only will they have to kind of get themselves back into this, but we have to see if they believe they can win it. Bang's still on 2 kills coming into this half. So good on Ancient. It's just crazy how much changes map to map between these players.
Yeah, I think that fallen P250 kill towards Fountain really broke him.
He got upset about that.
He was mad, and you just saw Grim's reaction looking over like with pity. I'm so sorry that had to happen. I'm just glad it wasn't me.
Yeah. Yeah. Grim just barely kind of going positive here and just barely negative in the last 2.
Yeah, this is...
Somehow I feel like he's going to average better than like Fang, who
yes, he will.
had a great map last map. And
yeah. But that's not what Grim needs to do, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
The complexity win condition isn't for Grim to just be okay.
Yeah.
It's for Grim to be the star. You know, at Katowice, arguably the best player from the United States of America. That's kind of how this...
Yeah, you did tweet that.
That's how the year did start. He really was. But then I think Elige got wind of it.
Yeah.
He's turned things around.
Yeah. Yeah, Elige did have a slow start. Grim did have a hot start. But life comes at you fast in CS.
That it does.
Start predicting too many things, you end up like Maui.
Yikes.
This boost works every single time except when it doesn't, and there's also 3 spotted.
JT looking to trade, wait for that deagle. Ooh, it's an actual P250, much smaller, but in fact still lethal. Bomb will be picked back up by Grim. Bolts keeps a quick glance.
He probably wasn't even on screen yet.
Wow. That's the ping. That's the 100 ping
that's
king
what you
effect.
gotta be, just swinging.
You gotta be swinging, holding
it's
angles.
Not even W. You gotta be holding A. You gotta be holding D. You gotta be going sideways.
You gotta swing. He who pingeth, swingeth.
Yeah, Shakespeare said that, right?
Pretty sure.
7 to 12. A nice couple of rounds here to recover after the lost pistol.
I like the idea behind that solo M4 boost.
Yeah.
JT, though, just a little too smart. Exactly. So, 5-round lead. Complexity. That force in round 17 has kept them alive.
Crazy how Fallen's just almost seen nothing this game. 8 and 8. It's been a war zone out here. And now there will be a bit of a feel-out period, it looks like, after the quick ones have gone.
Right. It's like everybody recognizes, okay, we're back into the real game.
Yeah, this is suddenly a real game scoreline. Just a good lead for Imperial. Oh, on the 1-for-1 trade inside of blue.
Critical trade.
Yeah. That does keep things alive. Oh, but he gets traded through the wall. However, 1 back on the B-side player. There's 2 more, however. They forgot about Vinny.
Yes, sir. Down by Monster. Vinny pops up. So focused and fixated on that fallen wallbang into connector that they run out trying to get that specific trade, not assuming there'd be a third in play for Imperial.
We can already compare 1-to-1 there, that like on these B attacks, the flash assist that were coming out of Imperial every single frag. And when there wasn't, it was 2K entry cello, 2K entry cello over and over again. And immediately into this rifle round, Imperial show us a better B defense, a worse attack from the complexity side. Halzerk 1-on-3.
Oh!
Whoa. You know, if it's the first guy and then the Woodwall player, we're talking.
Yeah.
But right now we're talking about 13-7.
Nice try on the adjustment, I gotta say.
Yeah, it was good.
Looked like it wasn't too far off.
Oh, Lanny gets that.
You know, I give half points for almost.
Yeah.
Quarter points for maybes. But Vinny crossing the T with those 2 kills. out short B.
Yeah, that was the layup right there. Like, you didn't see tunnel vision on the Imperial side, but Complexity, they had one guy they had in the site they wanted to kill. They forgot about Vinny completely. Maybe thought he was playing deeper.
Silver lining, guns again, and JT finds a quick entry. That could have easily been a cello opening. We know how hot he's been shooting. It is still a bunch of damage to 2 of Complexity's players, but it's a 5v4 and a little map control, although Imperial aren't far away. They are not shying back.
Oh my god, the call out.
JT through smoke. And now Fallen's gonna try the same game. And why would they expect there to be another player right there? Fallen,
yeah.
if he doubles back towards short, as Bolts draws attention away from long, he is in the thick of it. We said he hasn't seen much action despite this battlefield. Well, now he tries to take down Grim and pays the ultimate cost. Vinny, the last man up, 1v3.
Okay, good 2K spray down from Vinny in that previous round. He'll have to do one better. 16 and 12 on the map. They are coming to his site in a few seconds.
It's his best map yet.
No smoke for him to stop the one molly potentially from Fang. This would be the most natural spot to molly, I think. But he's actually not going to use it. They're gonna
Just through the wall. Both other players out long. Vinny's falling back. And they almost line up in his spray, but Complexity will finish this with 2 alive.
Yeah.
For 8.
And that's Fang with his 5th kill, but an important one at that. Still a chance to change the story. Undo everything that we talked about coming into half number 1. It'd be funny if you did a content piece, then we asked them, are you happy to be in not Washington? And they go, what's not? We got the ideas flowing.
Luckily, Furia or EG Black still await.
now you're just rooting against your favorite team.
Ooh, sorry.
That's the CS2 op scope.
Kinda, yeah. Not far off. What do you think about that new sound when you get the right jump throw?
What?
Yeah, when you successfully do a jump throw, they added a sound.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he goes.
Are you sure that's just not the sound you make?
No, but it sounds like something I'd make.
That's cool.
Is it?
Oh, no, it's not cool?
I like jump vines.
The sound can still be there with the jump vine.
That is a fair point. Yeah. Yep. All right.
But the reason the scout actually, the jump scouts are working is for the same reason that the jump throws are working.
Really?
Because they increase the range at which it's going to land in the same spot, which means the scout's apex is now a bigger range as well.
Well,
you should make a sound when you jump with the scout.
Yeah.
Yata.
Let's just add tons of martial art sounds, shall we?
Let's do anime sounds.
Yeah. Bang off long. 2 kills. They're I don't know what's going on here. You're losing more money than you have the chance to gain.
Oh.
To survive here for Complexity.
Joda to the bomb. Not too bad. Not too bad, actually. But still more to go.
Guns back in. Ooh, this is getting interesting.
Yeah, it's starting to get interesting. Complexity looking for 10 now.
But this time...
The flash is solid, honestly, but Joda gets 1 frame of vision, and his crosshair placement was beautiful.
All he needed. And we had that really quick clash last round as well, but JT picked up the opening kill. I was wondering if Imperial would actually just shy away from it once they were back on guns, but nah, they go right back to what they want.
So they still at least explode for some positional presence out towards long, and however they're met with Imperial, you know, I mean, look at this.
Yeah, staying
They know
dynamic
exactly
here.
what the play is, basically.
Imperial with a... Remember last time it's all that action up inside bathrooms, and it feels like that's why Complexity are clearing it out as a pack. This time Imperial confident to just sit outside of the flower bed on long.
And it's not... Oh, man. If they go up through bathrooms... Yeah, they must be going B if they're not going to take long control here. Otherwise, I think they're really asking for it.
Cruising.
Okay, so yeah, they're actually making the right play now.
But CT's also starting to get curious on long. That would open up the A players to rotate down.
Yeah, that's true. We found a good timing, 45-second mark, clearing everything out. And so we'll see if Complexity are going to be swift enough. It feels like not.
One frag to hold them back from Imperial. The execs light on util as well. Molly comes here onto the ramp. Emphasis out from Monster. We'll see how close to the site they can truly get with Vinny down in water. Oh, Grim, leave it to him. Sometimes when push comes to shove, it's Grim to cut the heads off. And again, he comes through.
Wow.
Triple headshot from Grim. And a fallen clutch queued up. Grim to the left, one inside sight. And there's the double. Last frags versus Fang gets the peak, but Fang to take the clutch.
Another close for Fang, and yes, he doesn't have many kills, but he's got a lot of clutches in this series so far, most of them on Ancient, but starting to light it up. And look at Grim. Those are the entries we're talking about. Those were 3 great spots for the CTs to play. They had all the appropriate information, and it's the first headshot in heaven. Oh my God.
And I swear, Grim entering B-site overpass, that is what has put Complexity on the map within this.
Yes. And that's triumph.
Versus Faze, versus NaVi. Grim entering,
my God,
is what gets the ball rolling.
We're talking about players playing in CT and Graffiti with half their heads showing just to make sure they can get a few free bullets off. Okay, they take out Grim right away, and they can get the weapon back on top of it. But that's the 10th round right there for Complexity. You know, they don't have any leeway, however. You know, max loss bonus for Imperial and Complexity don't have any majority alive rounds. Even that pistol round, they lost 3.
Joda hiding with the 5-7.
They're just constantly teetering on the brink of defeat. Double eco, you know?
Oh, they gotta find him. Floppy gets popped. It's an op from Halzerk. Okay, one chance there to keep that AK out of his hands. JT can be left to just make sure nobody flanks. Bomb can start to head towards A if it so chooses. The most deadly player on Imperial is Vinny's M4 here on B. They're going to hear those footsteps. JT, rotation towards A confirmed. Is that enough to force him to double back? Because Fallen faked it. He ran, stopped, came back, and that leads Complexity into this one M4. Fallen's brain so bulbous to set this up. And then Vinny strikes down the first, but it's Fang to respond. An incredibly quiet first half, and yet an incredibly critical 2K to put Cello in a near unwinnable situation. That one would have been beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't take away from the play. That was so well done. It fed right into JT's call. You know, that's influence with unconfirmed information. And Fallen made it seem like he was, you know, ran by accident and then walked the rest of the way. But no, it was just to set up Vinny for that spray down. And Fang, talk about miracles. What a 2K response from him. Things could have gone south if he didn't get both of these. But suddenly very sharp. Suddenly very sharp on T side. And that's an 11th round for Complexity, but it is still another costly round. And we're looking at none of these players with enough money to rebuy if they lose. It's going to get ugly. And Imperial know that. They've kept them low over and over again. That's going to give them a little bit extra motivation. Loss bonus can continue to be this incredibly relevant and important idea in this matchup. Complexity don't find one majority alive round win.
Man, Joda in the corner. Fang's making a bit of sound, so this activity's heard. Somebody better be holding this. A missed shot from Halzerk if JT's not there.
Yeah, I think he was blind.
JT on Joda. Gets away. But damn, man. Halzerk takes a ton of damage in that as well, so Joda, worth it for sure. We start to get this work back towards the B site from Complexity. There's been no activity out of them in this direction. Cello op. He waits. And he nails the first one, gets away on 4 HP, leads them right into Vinny, who then postures up, missed shot from Cello, a chance to Complexity to push, and JT fumbles because Vinny this time locks it all right in.
And that's 14 now for Imperial, and again, no matter how many rounds they had won, they don't have much left over. It's unclear if Complexity are going to get all the guns they're looking for here to defend against match point. all of that effort in the second half could be for naught. Such good coverage on the play. I mean, leading them into that short push again. Complexity go for the long control just to get them back out of a situation where they get flanked through stairs while they're taking B like they saw in that previous round. And that idea is fine, but the setup is even better for Imperial. Ready for the worst case situation. Complexity refusing to try to flash to take control of short ever.
Right now, dying on that hill. Desperate situation here for Complexity. Mac 10, 2 Tech 9s, Galil's.
Oh, and that's not just the kill. That's information. Grim down.
Dude, Vinny has been the bane of their existence. Lights out plays from him. Oh, it's a double in from Floppy, but Bolts, he's got the short side. And that is Imperial 15.
That's Imperial 15. About 2K a player here on the rest of the Complexity players, and that first half starting to haunt them. They started to wake up here on T side, but that is just a little bit too late. They missed their alarm. Their pay's getting docked.
If it weren't for that blowout of a first half, this would be the first time we see their economy bottom out. Would have been fine. Saver 2 back in with guns. Now that cannot be the case. It is forces all the way. Near non-existent utility here for Complexity.
They could have saved for this situation, decided to force twice. So are in no better of a position than they just were.
Helplessly looking for a deagle kill through walls or smoke. Helplessly thrashing about after such a stark improvement versus Imperial on Inferno, setting themselves up to win their map pick 2 series in a row. But they allowed this to go to Overpass, and their CT side simply not enough. Cello's gonna open up. Contact's been found. Floppy, just like last round, trying to keep Complexity in this. An attempt to get them at this A site. Choda, head on a swivel, turns it back around, nade in front, but again, it is Floppy fighting tooth and nail. With his hands now busy on the bomb. The coverage is out from Halzerk, working only with the scout. And a missed shot allows these CTs to get their retake rolling. Floppy, the one-man army, just cannot do it on his own. And we hoped for the JTD ground, but with 25 health, it is heartbreak for Complexity yet again. Rounds away from beating NaVi to qualify directly to Washington. And now instead, that dream is dead. Taken by Imperial.
The clash between Complexity and Imperial happens once again and ends on Overpass. This time, no overtime, but it was Imperial that had a gigantic lead and did finally manage to close it out. Complexity, with a bit of faith in themselves, were trying to bring it back at the end, but Imperial, they'd already done too much.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It was a valiant effort from Complexity on that second half, but we have to just run back to Imperial's offense on that map, which was superb. After originally being down 1-3, it felt like Fallen figured out exactly how to play the A side. The amount of time they just abused the maximum distance they could until they gave information to Complexity. It was too hard for them to handle. We touched on the Halzerk situation. We have the scoreboard right here, 14-20, very quiet on the CT side as well. I think Imperial did the best out of the situation, and then they closed it.
This scoreboard doesn't do Cello justice. He was 19-5, I believe, at one point on the T side. You spoke about it, right? A monster offense coming in from Imperial. That's where they laid the groundwork for the win. And that was Cello being the talisman of that offense. He was opening up left, right, and center. And as said, 19-5 at one point in this game. He slowed down a little bit in the second half. He allowed Complexity to come back somewhat in the game. But overall, again, I think we're left with the same sentiment that Complexity were not a par. They were not a match for Imperial here in Overpass.
He was so crisp in some of these super offensive maneuvers we see here, trading, taking space. Well, that one here is just dirty. I mean, that's part of Counter-Strike. He was very, very great. That 1v2 here is insane. Like, the flick on the second one is incredible. And even on the CT side, I agree with you. By the numbers, he slowed down. That's true. But actually, his secondary AWP is what finally put Imperial on track to stop the comeback from Complexity. That right there, thank you very much, production. Boom, he stopped a couple of these contact play from Catwalk, and he did monstrous on that map.
I think as well, because we gave Vinny such a hard time, Vinny Pass was in full effect.
Yeah, it's impressive you can play that well and get that many frags with the ugliest, not the ugliest crosser in Counter-Strike. I think Hall Circuit's still having that title, but the second ugliest crosser in Counter-Strike then, playing with the T crosser. I've tried it a couple of times. I can't make that work whatsoever. So the fact that he's dropping 24 kills in a game like this with that, yeah, kudos.
My viewers troll me with that, you know, when you can use the fish point to change your crosshair, they always make me play with like kind of T weird crosser. I can't.
Other way around as well, like
it's really complicated, but he can do it. He can make it work.
He can do it, and he can make it work. But you know what we're going to make work? The next matchup. We get to see Furia go up against Evil Geniuses.